I do. The night is young, and I'm in love with you.
We interrupt the program now in progress to bring you a special report from Guam. This report will come to you via special military facilities and is being released at this time to the combined American networks. Now for the special news from Advanced Naval Headquarters, far out in the Pacific, we take you to Guam. Go ahead, Guam.
The following communique has this minute been issued by C.W. Nimitz, Fleet Admiral, U.S. Navy, Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Pacific Fleet and Pacific Ocean Areas. The communique: Vice Admiral Mark A. Mitcher is in command of a powerful task force of the Pacific Fleet, is now attacking enemy aircraft, air bases, and other military targets in and around Tokyo. Surface units of the Pacific Fleet are bombarding Iwo Jima. Aircraft of the Strategic Air Force Pacific Ocean Areas are bombing Iwo Jima and nearby positions in the Bolines. The fleet forces are under the tactical command of Admiral R.A. Spruance, Commander, 5th Fleet. This is Art Friend, returning you to the United States.
In place of the program usually heard at this time, Mutual brings you a special news report from an American battleship 60 miles off Iwo Jima in the volcanoes. This is the first word heard from the American 5th Fleet in several weeks during which the 5th Fleet has been cloaked in complete silence. Throughout this report, you will hear the actual sound of anti-aircraft pom-poms and 5-inch guns. You will hear Leslie Nichols describing the crash of an enemy plane into the sea. This report, which was made in the dead of night under a clear, moonlit sky, was flown from the battle scene to Guam, and from that far-off Pacific Fleet outpost, it was sent almost 6,000 miles to the mainland.
This is Leslie Nichols speaking from a battleship which is not far off the volcano island. We have just come under attack, and our guns have opened up, and just now, our guns, or at least the guns of one of the forts, have shot down an enemy plane. It has fallen over on the horizon, just ahead of us. We're steaming in the direction of it, and now it appears that we can see just the remnants of the plane burning on the water up ahead. I can dimly make out in the light of a little more than a new moon the shadows of the other ships around us. Again. There go our guns again. They're just passing the cotton around up here. Our position now is high up on the foremast tower of this battleship. There's a great deal of smoke around the fort. You just heard our 5-inch shells go again. That is a report that planes are circling the ship. We may open up at any moment. There seems to be an enemy plane off the port beam directly across from me here. Guns and our 40 millimeter were just pouring lead up there into the sky. When those 5-inch guns go off, well, you certainly know it. It almost shakes the very stuffing out of you. And that concludes this broadcast from a battleship with the 5th Fleet, some 60 miles off the island of Iwo Jima. And just now, here's a flash report. The admiral of our group tells us that we deserve a well done for having shot down that Jap plane. And you ought to see the gunners and all the crew of this mighty battleship rejoicing now, because it happens to be their first Jap plane.
We've been doing a lot of singing aboard here. Before we got into dangerous waters, we used to sing at night up under the stars, and this sergeant was our prize singer here. We used to call him back. Now, what song do you suggest?
Well, we have one called Bless 'Em All. You've probably all heard it. And someone else wrote some more words. I don't know who done it, but we have these other words also we'll add in.
That's a pretty popular song with the Marines. We know the Raiders sang it, and it's been sung all over the South Pacific. And if you sing it out good and loud, maybe they can get the words back home, and maybe it'll mean something to them.
Yeah, I think it will.
All right, how about leading them?
All right, you guys ready? Now loud. We're Marines and we're fighting like hell, heading for Tokyo. We've got every weapon to shoot up the town. We're scattering Japs all around. It's a hell of a place, this part of the world. Nothing but jungles and swamps. But when the war's over, we'll all live in clover. So come on, guys, next stop is Guam. Bless 'em all, bless 'em all. The long and the short and the tall. Bless all the pelicans and dog faces too. Bless all my friends and above all bless you. So we're saying goodbye to you all. As back to our foxholes we crawl. There'll be no promotions this side of the ocean. So cheer up, my boys, bless them all.
I'd like you to meet some of these Marines very briefly. Their attention at the moment is focused on the beach and on the firing going on. But let's call a fellow over here. What do you do?
Gunner. I'm gunner on the half track.
You're going to handle machine guns while we're going in if you have to?
Yes.
What state are you from?
Arkansas.
How do you feel right now?
Oh, I feel all right.
You lost all nervousness?
Well, I never was nervous yet. I'm not nervous yet.
Good. You thinking of anybody back home?
Yes.
Who's back there?
Mom, my dad.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'd like you to meet the gun commander now. Can't give you his name because of military security, but say something, will you?
There's much I can say. I just wish we was up there on the beach with the rest of the fellas. Our turn will come soon enough, I guess.
You're anxious to get there, huh?
That's right.
All right, thanks a lot. He's hanging on the side of this tank lighter, staring out at the beach with his helmet thrown back over his head. And here's another fella.
There isn't much I can say.
What do you do, Jerry?
Communications chief for the weapons company.
You're all set to go, huh?
All set and rare.
I haven't seen you look nervous the entire time.
Don't feel nervous. It's just two butterflies in the stomach, that's all.
All right, thanks. An American plane, two of them, two bombers, they're going over us. Now you may have heard them in the background. I'd looking around now to see somebody else. Come on over here. I want to give you a chance. Here's a great big, tall, real typical Marine who said he wants to say something to the folks back home. And incidentally, he is a fella who is so typical. You've heard that the only thing practically left to a serviceman is his right to gripe. Well, this old boy has really overplayed that. Now we're going to give him a chance publicly. You got any gripes just before you go into combat? You feel fine?
Yeah.
Everything good? You got the best chow in your pack?
Sure, everything.
All right, I see you got a new pair of dungarees. How'd you get that?
Number 4 holes.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Well, he didn't have much to gripe about now. So I guess everything's all right. And now we're streaking in to the line of departure. That means we are going to the line from which we will shortly leave. You can hear our motor, the engine of this tank lighter, roaring as we move quickly through the water up to a distance of about 2,000 yards from the shore. There's all hell to pay directly ahead of us. The beach looks as though it's practically on fire. We've now heard word that casualties in those first waves were very light. The terrific roar around us is coming from, mostly from our own amphibious tractors. There go American dive bombers going down on the beach, back of the beach. We can see the beach very clearly now. I'll tell you one thing, I'm thinking right now of my home, of my wife and my little daughter, and I hope they're all right. And I hope I come back to them all right. That's about what you think of now. I tried to get some of these men to talk, but I know deep down that's what they're thinking of. All their big Jap stuff dropping in the water up ahead of us a little. We'll probably have to go through it. There's great clouds of black smoke. What was that? Huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, we can see machine guns on the cliff now. Directly ahead of us, firing out at us. Boy, they're coming straight at us now. I think we're a little out of their range. I'm not sure. I hope so. The fire, the whole wall is covered with smoke. There, we've hit it. We're grounding on it. We're up on it. We're up on it. In a minute, the ramp will go down, and the men going to stream out. Non-com has just wished everybody good luck. Everybody's sort of ready. Machine gun just fired. Our machine gun just fired from this half-track. 3 or 4 shots. You probably heard it. The men are now going out ahead. They're moving out ahead of the half-track. Boy, it's up to my knees. I think my pistol got wet. I don't know. Pretty high. I'm moving away from the half-track now. The men are motioning to each other to move forward. The surface of the coral is quite level, although it's bumpy, but it's not, at least not jagged, not full of foam. What's the matter? Hey, spread out! Spread out! Hey, John! I'd like to be in there with you. There's a lot of fire coming in this matter, but no one I've seen yet has been hit, fortunately. It's amazing you can't see anyone in the beach. Yes, I see a Marine running along through the coconuts. Yeah, there's one boy been hit. One boy's been hurt now. They're putting him into the rubber boat. 4 men putting him into the rubber boat. I don't know who it is. Can't see him. But he has been hurt. And they've got him. He's lying on his side. Another boy's just been hit. Another boy's been hit. In fact, I think he's been killed. The officer is hollering at him to get him. No, he's all right. He's climbed into the rubber boat, and I guess he's all right. There's a lot of fire around us now. We're almost at shore. I should say about 100 feet or a little more from shore. There are 2 Marines now in our rubber boat. Another boy's just been hurt. He's hanging onto the tail with both arms. Hey, tell him to smile while they stick a guy in the tail. Oh, there's one Marine lying on his back. Now we're at the beach. There's one Marine lying on his back with blood pouring out of him into the water. And here, we're reaching the beach now. We're going to come up on it. And there's fire all around us. And the Marines are still on the beach. They have not made any further headway. At least there's a whole, must be 2 or 3 waves here on the beach. In fact, all of the half-tracks are lined up now around us on the beach. None of them have been able to move past here. There go the corpsmen are walking around. They don't seem to be taking any cover. They're walking upright, looking for casualties, moving from one guy to the next. Men are jumping back and forth next to us. Now some of the Marines are motioning for the next waves to come in. And here comes another half-track behind us with men coming in after us. They're waiting too. I don't think we've left any men in the water.